On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
That foundation is built on a house of sand. Is meant to fall. Is meant to fall because that in itself is prejudice. That in itself is being racist. You can't determine how you're going to align with somebody based off of what they look like. That very foundation is the foundation that's built off of hate in itself. I can't stand on it. It goes against every single thing that I read, everything that I study.
Rilla, go ahead.
Yeah, so to answer your question specifically, I understand. I think I understand what he's saying, right? I don't know that he's articulated or substantiated the point that all Black culture is trash. I love that he got a little bit more specific, and that's why I'm asking him to unpack it. The culture that we champion is trash. And my question is, what is the culture? What is the Black culture that Black people are championing?
That's well, you can't say all Black people because there's always going to be an anomaly, and for the people that's slow in the back, you got to add that caveat into it before you start talking. But largely, we understand that when we're talking about the majority. And if you're looking at the majority, and you look at all of the different shows, and you look at what's popping, right? Even if you look at and go back and look at a lot of our shows that we've did, the ones that we start to talk about stuff that actually adds value, right? It's almost like you gotta package it in a way in which people will be entertained. And the only way they find themselves entertained is by stuff that's cloaked in negativity. Straight up. Ask somebody, for example, to tell you a positive leader, a positive Black leader that they follow, right? Tell them to give you 5. Tell them to give you 5 Black positive leaders that they follow, and then ask them when the last time they actually listened to them. Right? Honestly, like real talk, it'll be a hard conversation for you to have a conversation with somebody and tell them, hey, name 5 positive Black leaders that you follow. And when is the last time that you listened to them? It's going to be a tough sell. It's going to be an absolute tough sell. And, honestly, I'm very concerned. I don't even think I care as much about older grown people as I do about the people that's coming behind them, because all we do is continue to perpetuate the same behavior and the same narrative. And if you look all the way back, you can take, let's just say 100 years ago, you look 100 years ago and you go all the way up until now, 1921 up to 2021, we are worse off than we've ever been. We're less married, right? We're less successful. We faced more than we ever have. And the freer we get and the more opportunities that we have and the more freedom that we have, the more we place ourselves in a box and the poorer we become. And so if you look at the stats and you look at the results, you have to say that the things that we're embracing is the worst parts of us. The overwhelming majority of us embrace the worst parts of us. And it's not just us. It's a lot of different cultures that do the same thing, but I'm still standing on, and I'm speaking on that specific point about Black culture and the things that we champion within Black culture is absolute trash.
So for clarity, because again, I think I've said this on the platform before. You remind me of Coach Young, basketball coach at Corliss, in the sense of, direct, straight to the point. This is what it is, not cutting no corners. I mean what I say and I say what I mean. When you say the parts of Black culture, and I get it, you're a C student. I think you're way smarter than that. And I really do hate when you say that, because I think you're way smarter than that.
Rap music, trash.
Okay.
Even the food we eat, trash. Somebody came on the platform the other day, the last show, one of the callers, and it was like, what do you eat on New Year's? All of that stuff that they name, all of the stuff that we eat and we celebrate as a part of Black culture is trash, bro. It's trash food. It's the bottom of the barrel when you talking about the palate that we put into our bodies and our mouths. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage. Like, it's bad. I don't know how else to frame it.
So Anton, I have a question.
Soul food is trash.
So I have a question. So all of the things that you are describing as Black culture, is basically a product or a result of someone like someone producing something, whether it be music, whether it be TV shows, whether it be food. Do you consider Black culture like the people, right? You talked about humanity. So would you see Black culture as the creativity, the uniqueness that we bring to the world? Like there's things about us that no other culture has that they often want to replicate, right? Like there are things that they take from us that we have, like, just our skin alone is something that they want. They get tans, they try to look like us. So I understand where you're coming from in terms of the things that we produce is trash, but we as a people, I think we contribute to society in a way that, again, other cultures, other people want to replicate. So, and let me say this again too, having babies out of wedlock, all of the things that we do in relationships it's like something we produce, or it's an action based on it. So yes, I understand that there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I think we can give credit to who we are as a people, and what we bring. So like I just wonder if you consider that a part of culture, or are you only looking at culture as the things we produce, whether it be food?
I'll look at culture as the things that we champion and celebrate and embrace the most. That's what I look at culture as.
So, and I thank you for saying that. I think last week, or even if Courtney says she champions, like she's Black all day, right? So if that's who she's, rooting for, I hear her saying
that's called being prejudiced, and it goes against the very fabric and I don't want to speak too much about her because she's not here to defend herself, right? But that narrative goes against the very thing that she says and I say that we subject ourselves to, which is the Bible, right? Holiness in general, Christianity, it literally takes you through why it's trash, all the way from Genesis all the way through Revelations, and the mindset behind it. The reason why you had Paul, the reason why you had Jesus, is to do away with the old ways and to set a new path, because it was impossible for us to do things the right way, only aligning ourselves a specific way. So if you have that narrative and you say that I'm only going to look at it from this lens, and I only celebrate, or I'm only going to champion this based off of that foundation, it's built on a house of sand. It's meant to fall. Because that in itself is prejudice. That in itself is being racist. You can't determine how you're going to align with somebody based off of what they look like. That very foundation is the foundation that's built off of hate in itself. I can't stand on it. It goes against every single thing that I read, everything that I study.